So I'm just making a quick video of how I got the rest of the water. Got the water out of my hot water heater. And I thought for those of you who are having the same problem that I was, you would appreciate that. I've got a State Select hot water heater. In this case, mine's 17 years old, 75 gallon for what it's worth. Been working great. Started to get a little bit of leakage out the back of it. Knew it was time to replace it. The thermostat has been acting a little funky too. But excuse me, as I'm doing this, I'm trying to get the water drained out of it, the most important thing. Everything else I got done okay, but I want to show you the valve down here and what happened. So last night I shut off the hot water, which is pretty important because otherwise I would have scalded myself. Let me put the cap back on. But what I was doing is I was just trying to drain from the bottom like you would normally do. Clearly you'll get the hint already. You can see the lime scale on the floor here around the hot water heater. But basically, I just took a 2-foot section of hose and ran it here to my drain, my overflow for the AC, and it's the overflow for the expansion on the hot water heater if it needed it, and it wasn't draining. So I had seen another video where a guy tried to snake up inside, go from the bottom up and snake up inside, and this valve's not having that. And so again, remember, turn the hot water off the night before if you're gonna do this, if it won't drain, because it's got to be cool. Otherwise, you will scald yourself. But basically, I went snaking up inside here on the bottom, and that wasn't working. And so I looked at the side here, realized that I could pop the shut-off valve, take that off. Of course, the instant I pull this, what I see is as I look inside, you can kind of see it looks like there's some white sediment in there. I don't know if I can zoom in on it. There's some white sediment in there, so I took a coat hanger, just the simple end of a coat hanger. Right, I did a coat hanger. Sorry, my camera skills aren't that great. Simple end of a coat hanger, took that, and I just poked it in there gently. As soon as I did that, all the sediment, all the lime, and everything you can see here on the floor, of course, that broke loose. So be ready for that. So as soon as it broke loose, what I did is end up putting my thumb over it. What I would suggest is that you have a second hose here. And if you have a second hose, it'll spray a little bit of water, but as soon as the water started coming out the top, it started flowing out of the bottom. So as soon as it started coming out of here, it started flowing out like crazy, which is good, right? Immediate drain down here. That's exactly what I want, but you need to have another way to cover this. And while I put my thumb over it initially to block it, of course it's spraying a little bit, I could seal it, but the water flow was fantastic. When I tried to put the cap back on, too much of a seal with the O-rings. So I tried to screw that back on. Even though I put it on loosely, too much of a seal. So have another hose ready. In this case, this one snaked all the way out to my sump pump, which is behind me, about 30 feet behind me in the other corner of the basement. And so I got this screwed on really quickly, and as soon as I got this guy screwed on, then I've got enough airflow between the two of them. Most of it was still draining out of the bottom, as it should, but I had a little overflow out of the top. And in this case, the 75 gallons drained out pretty well. So I don't think there's anything else to tell. Now I just have to clean up a little bit. And I've already got the hot water heater disconnected. So there's tons of videos on how to disconnect your hot water heater and pull it out. This one's gas, of course. You can see it's gas. Shut off, obviously. But this was just for the sediment piece, which mine was significant. So good luck with that, and I hope it helps.